Shalom. The title of this video is the hissing sound that's being heard around the world. So I am in the book of Second Estrus. This is in the Apocrypha. Second Estrus, the 15th chapter, and I'll read the 27th through the 29th verse. For now calamities have come upon the whole earth, and you shall remain in them. For God will not deliver you because you have sinned against him. Behold, a terrifying sight appearing from the east. So I want you to remember where this is coming from, the east. This is not talking about China. This is not talking about Africa. This is talking about a further land. The nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and from the day that they set out, their hissing shall spread over the earth, so that all who hear them fear and tremble. Okay, so the reason why I did this video is because of the bombing in Memphis, Tennessee on Satan's Day. They call it Christmas, but it's really Satan's Day. Satan is a anagram for Santa is an anagram for Satan, so it's really Satan's Day. So like a wicked holiday that people celebrate. I stopped celebrating that day, I don't know, probably years ago. I couldn't even tell you, at least probably 10 years ago. I just kind of came upon me to stop celebrating it. And they telling you that this was a suicide. Some white dude in an RV was a suicide bomber, and the story just kind of gets really outlandish, where they're saying that there was some loudspeaker and telling people to evacuate, and then the person gave their house away before, and they just came up with this story. They found the person's body. It starts becoming a little bit outlandish, kind of like the story when they were telling about the person who they alleged shot up the people at the concert in Las Vegas a couple years ago. What was that, back in like 2017, I think? Yeah, the story started getting outlandish, so you just stop listening to it. Like they said, it was 6 police officers, happened at 6:30 a.m., and they start using all these 6s and 3s. You know, it's a fake cover story about what really happened. I believe this to be a missile or some type of, I heard people say like some type of directed energy weapon. I believe it could be that too, or some like a missile attack. And it's coming from this entity that I just read. I'm also going to get this in Isaiah 13:5. So I'm going to go there. And it's going to show where they come from too. And I explained the same thing in the video where I talk about the destruction of China. So I'm in Isaiah 13, and I'm in the 5th chapter. And it's talking about where they're coming from. And again, this is not, when they say they're coming from the east, it's not talking about China, or it's not talking about the Middle East. It's talking about a further land. That might be the furthest east of this region of the earth, but there are regions outside of this area. It even shows it on the United Nations map. It says they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land, right? The weapons of his indignation. So they have special weapons that they're going to bring. And these are weapons provided from the Most High. These are not like your weapons you see here. These people weapons will be primitive compared to what these people are bringing. Similar to what you saw in the movie Independence Day, where they had force fields. They had these city-sized ships. You're going to see the same thing happen here. I'm going to go show you some proof about where these people come from. So I'm going to go into Genesis 3:4. Okay, so this is Genesis 3:4. This is talking about when Adam got kicked out of the garden. He came from the east. He got kicked. The garden was in the east. So it says, this is 3:24. So it says, this is when Adam got kicked out of the garden in ancient times. So he drove out the man, Adam, H120, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, right? The east of the garden. So if the garden is one place, Adam was in the east, and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So then if you go into Genesis 11:2, it's going to show you where the children of Adam came from. So this is kind of like a fast forward, right? So this is Genesis 11:2. And it came to pass as they journeyed from where? The east, where Adam came from, where Adam got kicked out of, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. This is China, and they dwelt there, right? I made a video about this, how China is hidden in the scripture. This is talking about China. You take off the R, it's China. It's just a different variation of the same word. China, it depends on how you say it too. China. But if somebody saying the word China, it depends on what their dialect is. China. It's the same word. So this is where they came from. This is where these people are coming from. They coming from a distant land. This is where Adam got kicked out of. And then they said today also that a pipeline was attacked in Colorado, and all of these people lost their let's see if it's still up here. All of these people lost their here it is. Here's the story here. Thousands of Colorado residents without heat after attack on a gas service. So I'm assuming this is the same entity that bombed the downtown Nashville. And this bombing was just some type of warning, or it was like someone announcing themselves, because they're saying that there were no casualties. And look what time it happened. At like around 6 o'clock in the morning on Christmas morning. So most people are probably at home drinking some hot chocolate, and they're not out. There's nobody out. So if it was something meant to cause like mass casualties, it would have been done at like a football stadium, or at least during a regular time. Like even on like New Year's Eve, if some people are out celebrating, it would have been a better time to do it. So whoever did this, they're not trying to cause mass casualties. They're just trying to do some type of warning. And I also believe this might have something to do with the reparations. There's two bills out there, the Senate Bill 1083 and the House of Representatives, the HR bill, HR 40. And they're passing all of these stimulus packages and giving money to all these different countries abroad, but they're not discussing this. And again, and most of these bills, if you go to the congress.gov, you look at the date, the dates are set to expire on them. It's 2020. So if they don't pass these bills within the next few days, and the last day for the House of Representatives is Friday, the date, not Friday, Thursday, because Friday is the first. Then, sorry about that noise. It's some maintenance people doing some work in my building. Then this is going to expire, so we're going to go into the new year. So if this doesn't pass, then you might see some type of another attack happen. This is what I believe it to be, and I believe it has something to do with that. Everybody keeps talking about, you go on Twitter, you go on YouTube, everybody keeps talking about it, but you're not hearing anything from Congress. But they have all this money to pass these stimulus packages, and they're giving all this money to everybody. And I believe some people don't really deserve any money. I mean, maybe if you were a taxpayer, I could kind of see it, or if you were laid off from your job. But what if you were just like a bum person? I mean, I don't mean like a homeless person, but I just mean like somebody who just never ever worked, who just kind of lived off food stamps. They never try to make a life for themselves. You supposed to get them $600 or might even go up to $2,000 for nothing? That's a waste of money. So they seem to do that a lot, and I believe this attack was a warning to kind of put a little pep in their step in getting these reparations passed. And this is, again, this was decreed even before we went into slavery. This was decreed in ancient times that we would go into slavery for 400 years, or it was foreseen that this would happen, but it was also decreed that we would come out with great substance. So this is the substance that we're supposed to come out to. This is the time and the season. So you're seeing a judgment of Egypt, which is America, and you see in the judgment of Babylon, which is China as well. You see all the things that are happening in China and Japan right now, and over there in Asia as well. So I just wanted to make this quick video to tell you kind of what I thought that the attack was. I know it was, again, I know it wasn't some white dude in an RV as a suicide bomber. That whole story didn't make any sense. And again, it starts to get even more outlandish the more you listen to it. I just kind of cut it off after the first thing they say, oh, it was this and that, and they already got the person. I stopped listening to their cover story, because I know it's just that, a cover story, just like the attack in Las Vegas. Some people are saying that it was like a false flag. I don't believe it was a false flag, but I do believe that it was a a cover story set up, and they already have these cover stories already created before events even happen, because they don't want to tell people like, oh, it was an attack and it was a missile or it was a directed energy weapon and we don't know where it came from. Or even if it was something happened and they don't know, they can't say that they don't know, because that's kind of bad leadership. They can't just say, oh, we don't know what happened. They have to come up with some type of story, or people are going to feel like they're losing control. So that's all I wanted to do. I might make another video if something else comes out, but I just wanted to read those few scriptures and just kind of give my opinion about what really happened in Nashville and why it's happening. But, like I said, it's a lot of judgment going on all across the world, Africa to Asia to Europe. Everywhere you seeing flooding, massive, like all these cities are underwater. Brazil, Argentina, Africa, all these places are underwater. You seeing like major judgment going on all across the world. And it's only going to continue in 2021. So that's all I have for now. Shalom.